Stephen Fulton showed him too much respect. If he didn't show him as much respect as he did, I think Fulton would have had a better case for himself for sure in that fight. I think I have more power than Fulton. And just my style is different. Like, yeah, we do certain things. Like, I do certain things that's similar to Fulton, but I also have a lot that's in my arsenal that y'all have not seen, which y'all are going to see in this fight December 9th against Jason Sanchez.
Okay.
At least you get in the fights. At least you get in the fights. At least you get in the fights.
I put belt to ass, and you can see that's what I do.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so let's go ahead and talk some more of the featherweight division. I told you guys in 2024 that 2024 was the year of the featherweight division, and I will double, triple, and quadruple down that 2025 is even more of the year of the featherweight division. I mean, it's a hot weight class right now, a lot of talent, a lot of great fighters, a lot of storylines. And, you know, interesting enough, right, you had a back and forth recently between two of the American fighters. You know, you had Raymond Ford and Bruce Carrington going back and forth on Twitter recently. And it ain't the first time. Like, Raymond Ford and Bruce Carrington have history from the amateurs, supposedly. I've seen them go back and forth plenty of times. You know, Raymond Ford's from Camden, New Jersey. Shushu Carrington's from Brooklyn, New York. If you guys don't know about your geography in America, those two cities are very, very close to each other. So they have history, and they're on the same weight class. And before I get into the tweets, as you guys saw in the beginning of this video, like, Raymond Ford is a fighter that I think thus far in his career, and even early in his career, he fought tougher competition than Shushu. I think Shushu has been, just objectively speaking, I like them both, but Shushu has been guided a little better. Not better, but like he's been guided in a more efficient manner with Top Rank. I think Raymond Ford's had to take tougher fights early in his career. That being said, here's what Ford said to Shushu Carrington. He stated the following, and I quote, "You're not going to be undefeated forever. As soon as you step up, it's over. You're calling out every world champion besides the one that would be the easiest fight to make. You got picks, I don't. That's the real difference." Now, Raymond Ford is referring to Rafael Espinoza, who is the WBO champion. You know, right now, Bruce is the number one contender in the WBO. He's also the number one contender in the WBC. So a Stephen Fulton fight could be happening. Although I think with the, you know, you guys know how boxing business is. With the promotional, different promoters, it's always an extra hurdle to clear, right? So the easiest fight for Shushu to make at this juncture in time would be Espinoza. Now, Espinoza has a fight against Edward Vasquez on the Inouye undercard as the co-main event. He has to beat Edward Vasquez. But if he does beat Edward Vasquez and Shushu wins his fight with Enrique Vivas coming up, then I think Shushu and Espinoza can and should happen next. It's the easiest fight to make. So that's the point Ford is trying to make. You know, you hear Shushu calling out Stephen Fulton. You hear Shushu calling out Naoya Inoue over and over and over again. I've even heard Shushu at times call out Angelo Leo. He just recently called out Nick Ball, but the guy he hasn't really been calling out in the opinion of Ford, and to be honest with you, I haven't even heard Shushu call out Espinoza as much as the other champions, is, you know, Espinoza, right? So that's his point. And Ford, you know, he had to fight Edward Vasquez on the way up. He fought some tough Mexican fighters. He fought Otabek Komatov as the B-side. You know, Eddie Hearn didn't even want to win a purse bid for him. And even now at 130, he's taking on Thomas Matisse, who's not an easy guy to beat. You know, a very high-risk, low-reward fighter. So Ford, one thing about Ford is he takes tough fights. That's one thing I can say about him, right? So then Stephen Fulton, right? Stephen Fulton jumps in on this. And he says, and I quote in a couple of tweets, as you guys saw in the beginning of this video, he says, "They let that loss to Inoue get to the head. Until they get in the ring with me and see that this shit is different, that wasn't nowhere near the best me." So Fulton maintains that, you know, the Inoue fight was not the best him. He did have some inactivity going into that fight because he was waiting on Merjan, right? But he got blasted out in 7 rounds. It is what it is. But yeah, Shushu in a lot of interviews, on a lot of channels, including mine, has been very vocal about the fact that he feels Stephen Fulton showed Inoue too much respect, and he feels that Stephen Fulton doesn't have the offensive skill set to deal with it Inoue like the way he does, right? So he says, look, you can say you can think what you want, but until you get in the ring with me, you don't know what the deal is, right? And then Fulton also kind of parrots what Raymond Ford is saying. He doesn't call out Shushu by name, but he says not one person called out Espinoza. Oh, okay. So he's talking about. So just so you know, Fulton and Ford know each other, and I'm sure he's seen this on Twitter, and I'm sure that that's a fight that he would like to make at some point if he can't get the champions, because obviously with Stephen Fulton right now, there's a lot of attractive fights that are bigger than Shushu, right? I think Nick Ball could be an interesting fight, but Nick Ball's probably gonna fight Inoue or Mirko Cuello, right? Obviously, the fight I'm talking about the most is Fulton versus Angelo Leo in a unification rematch. I think that's probably one of the best fights you can make in the division. But yeah, that the whole point of this video is that Ford and Fulton are both pointing out that Raymond Ford, or that Bruce Carrington, I should say, is not really being ultimately that vocal about calling out Rafael Espinoza. And truth be told, just objectively speaking, when you look at the landscape, when you look at the chessboard, when you look at the potential big fights that could be made for Shushu Carrington, the easiest one I think to make is the Rafael Espinoza fight. Just because, look, he's the #1 contender for Espinoza. It's a top-ranked fight. I think, that's an attractive fight for Top Rank in terms of marketability, right? Because Espinoza is their Mexican champion. If Espinoza can beat up on Shushu, who's built up a good name for himself, that would only enhance Espinoza's profile as one of the top guys at 126. If Carrington beats Espinoza, then I think that would give Carrington some much-needed credibility, because, truth be told, he didn't look so great against Suleiman Sagawa. I thought he lost that fight, and Top Rank has moved him very carefully since that fight, and it's reflected in the opponent selection. So, look, I'll say it like this. I don't got a dog in the race. I'm just telling you guys objectively what I'm seeing and what I think. I would like to see Shushu fight Stephen Fulton at some point. And as well as Shushu versus Espinoza. And even potentially Shushu against Raymond Ford, because they've been doing a lot of talking, right? Both of them back and forth. So, look, there's no shortage of matchups here at featherweight. There's no shortage of potential fights at featherweight. Stephen Fulton is a proven fighter. He's proven himself at 122. He's now reproven himself as a featherweight, becoming champion again. I think the onus right now is on Bruce Carrington to prove that he is one of the top guys. He's got to get past Enrique Vivas this week, a tough Mexican fighter, high volume puncher. He can't overlook him, because all this could go up in smoke if he loses this weekend. But if he takes care of business against Vivas this weekend, I would like to see, I don't care if it's Espinoza or Fulton. I think those are the two fights that Carrington needs to be locking in on, because those are two fights that I think could take him to the next level. And look, Shushu is not no spring chicken. He's not a young guy, right? He's not like a super young prospect. I mean, he's 27 years old. His birthday will be next month. He'll be 28 next month. So now ain't the time to be messing about and taking your time with the matchmaking Top Rank. Let's go to Top Rank. Brad Goodman, I know you watch these videos sometimes. Brad, it ain't the time to be taking your time with Bruce Shushu Carrington. You got to go ahead and you got to make the fight either against Fulton or make the fight against Espinoza, because he's a big 126-pounder. You've seen it in some of his weigh-ins. He has a hard time making the weight. He could become a weight. His weight or his body could give out on him at any time, and he may be forced to go to 130. So don't do that. Let the young man from Brooklyn get his shot at glory, and let's see what he's got. He's had some sensational performances, like against Jason Sanchez, right? But he's also had some pretty suspect performances or suspicious performances, like the one against Suleiman Sagawa. So he's got a lot to prove, and I'd like to see him prove it. And I'll even say it like this. If he can't get Fulton, if he can't get Espinoza, if he can't get none of the other champions, if he can't get Nick Ball, if he can't get Inoue, whoever the case may be, then make Shushu versus Odabek Komotov, who's returning on April the 5th on the Johnny Beck undercard. I think if you're looking to see what Shushu still has, or what he truly is, the Odabek Komotov fight is a sink or swim fight for both of them. Komotov, he hasn't been seen in about a year. He has a lot to prove. Shushu has a lot to prove. I like that fight a lot. So there's to me, Shushu is the wild card of this division, and he has a lot to prove. But that's the news, guys. You know, Raymond Ford and Stephen Fulton are both accusing Shushu Carrington of ducking Rafael Espinoza, who, objectively speaking, is the easiest champion in his weight class to make a fight with. So, make of that what you will. Let me know what you guys think about a potential matchup with Shushu and Espinoza, a potential matchup with Shushu and Fulton, and anything else regarding Shushu Carrington in the comments down below. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys click right over here.
Keep watching my boy BT put on the best interviews out here.